Good evening, everyone. I call the December 17th, 2025 Apple Valley Planning Commission meeting to order. The first item of business is the approval of the agenda. Any changes from staff?
Madam Chair, just wanted to note that some of you or someone, we did post the agenda from last Friday with an item on there about the Apple Valley Tech Park data center project. It has since been removed, but in case anybody had seen that before we took it off, just to let you know that that item is not on the agenda tonight, and there will be no hearing on that item as well. Otherwise, the agenda stands as in your packet.
Thank you. Noted. Any changes from the commissioners? If not, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Scanlon, seconded by Commissioner Halas. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item of business tonight is the approval of the consent agenda. Consent agenda items are considered routine and will be enacted with a single motion without discussion unless a commissioner or a citizen requests to have any item separately considered. It will then be moved to the regular agenda for consideration. Can I get a motion of approval?
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Schindler, seconded by Commissioner Scanlon. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. The next item brings us to public hearings, which we have crossed off for the night, and that brings us to land use and action items. And this one is FRASER First Edition Comprehensive Plan Amendments, and that is with Sydney.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. Tonight, I'll be presenting to you a proposed comprehensive plan amendment for 2 lots within FRASER First Edition. Specifically, you're asked to consider an amendment to the 2040 Comp Plan land use map to designate 2.19 acres of property from high-density residential to commercial and 1.21 acres of property from suburban intensive high-density residential to commercial as well. The 2 properties are located at the northwest corner of County Road 42 and 147th Street West. Lot 1 to the north is the existing property of FRASER Assisted Living Facility, and then Lot 2 to the south is a city-owned vacant property that is currently under purchase agreement with Northland Real Estate and is likely to be developed as a limited business use in the future. The existing land use designations for Lot 1 to the north is high-density residential, and then to the south is suburban intensive high-density residential. The land use amendment is proposed to change both lots to commercial. Both properties are currently zoned limited business, so the reason for the proposed amendment is to align the zoning with the land use designations. Currently, the zoning of limited business does not align with the high-density residential land use, so this is a housekeeping item to align the zoning with the comp plan as is required by state statute. For some general requirements and definitions that are in the comp plan that for limited business use and the commercials designation is basically that the intensity of characteristics and development are within the zoning ordinance. The lower intensity districts include the LB district. This is reserved for general office uses and businesses that exclude over-the-counter retail sales. And then those LB uses are adjacent to the retail core of downtown and act as a transition to residential neighborhoods. Traffic impact as well as utilities was gone over at the public hearing. I'll go back to those quickly, sorry about that. The impacts are consistent with what we would expect with a limited business use and what has been planned for with the zoning. The public hearing for the item was held at the November 19th Planning Commission meeting. There were commissioner questions as well as questions from the public as well, and those were all answered by staff at the meeting. So with that, if there are no other questions or concerns, staff recommends the Planning Commission to recommend approval of the amendment to the land use map to designate Lot 1 to from high density to commercial, and then Lot 2 from suburban intensive high density to commercial as well. I can stand for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Sydney. Commissioners, any discussions or any questions for Sydney that are additional from the public hearing? Okay. Would we like to proceed?
Madam Chair, I recommend approval of amendment to the 2040 Comprehensive Plan Land Use Map to designate Lot 1, Block 1, Fraser First Edition from High Density HD Residential 12+ units per acre to C, Commercial, and to designate Lot 2, Block 1, Fraser First Edition from SIHD Suburban Intensive High Density Residential 24 to 48 units per acre to C, Commercial.
Second.
The motion was made by Commissioner Scanlon and seconded by Commissioner Schindler. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, that brings us to Land Use Action Item B, Apple Valley Community Center and Apple Valley Senior Center Addition. And that's you too, Sydney.
Thank you, Chair Kurtz, again. Just waiting for the presentation. So for the next item for tonight is the site plan building permit authorization for Apple Valley Community Center and Apple Valley Senior Center Building Addition. Specifically, you're asked to consider the site plan building permit authorization of a 10,000 square foot building addition to connect and then create a common entrance for Apple Valley Community Center and Apple Valley Senior Center. This project is part of the 2023 voter-approved Parks referendum. The existing site is located at Hayes Park, which is 14601 Hayes Road, located on the west side of Apple Valley. On this aerial image, it was taken in September, which you can see some of the site improvements that were under construction for Hayes Park at the time in September. Those are more fully complete by now, but just an overview of what was done in the fall, and we'll go over those improvements in a later slide. The property is zoned P institutional in the institutional zoning district. The applicable zoning requirements were reviewed by staff, and they are listed on the slide for the rear lot line, setback, maximum building coverage, and maximum building height, and all zoning requirements are met for this project. For the site plan, the existing senior center is highlighted in blue, as well as the existing community center, also highlighted blue. And then the proposed addition is highlighted in red in the center of the two buildings. So that will, like I said, connect the two buildings and create one large building. Other site improvements will include some reconfiguration to existing parking, which will better serve the facility needs when one common entrance is created. And then in other impacted areas for the development will include changes to and reconfiguring the design of the trails in the area, the sidewalks in the area. There will be some outdoor seating and as well as landscaping, and then an outdoor playground as well in this area. And other changes would be to the existing utilities just to accommodate the new facility. Parking in the area, specifically in the impacted area, is currently at 109 stalls. And then with the changes to parking, there'll be about 96 stalls, and their staff have no concerns about that change. And there's also well over 200 stalls for the entire site. So the impacted area will just be down to 96 in this area. For Hayes Youth Athletic Complex, that was reviewed with a building permit earlier this year. That did not require Planning Commission review because it's just exterior site updates. So those included various athletic fields, these baseball fields, these fields over here actually on the Westview Elementary property, but there's a joint agreement between the city and the school district for this Hayes Youth Athletic Complex. Other improvements include stormwater pond updates, as well as updated trails and sidewalks. The landscape plan that was included for this site plan building permit authorization included the removal of some trees, but also the addition of about 69 trees, as well as other various plantings. The plantings will be in the area of the addition, as well as in the parking lot near the Apple Valley Community Center and Senior Center. I did also want to show the landscape plan for Hayes Athletic complex because there is significant landscaping with that update as well. That landscaping is concentrated around the residential development to the south and to the west. That will provide some additional screening to those athletic fields from the residential properties. And that will be approximately 180 trees, as well as, again, other various plantings. So with the combination of both landscaping plans, staff will ensure that the 2.5% landscaping requirement is met when the building permit is reviewed, which is a standard condition. Here's a rendering of the building addition. So you can see the building materials as well as the material colors will complement the existing senior center and community center. So here would be the existing senior center and community center in the back. Staff has no concerns with these materials. The elevation of the main entrance shows the materials of a precast wall, which includes a custom design, as well as glass, metal, soffit and trim, and then metal cladding. On this main entrance elevation, you can see in the metal screening that will be used for a mechanical unit on the roof. This screening would meet city code, and staff will review the building permit to ensure that the mechanical unit is fully screened, which again is a standard requirement. Looking at the back side of the building, we have the same building materials, and you can see more of the metal screening of the mechanical unit here. Again, east and west elevation, same materials, so the project does meet the requirement of having that four-sided architecture. For the floor plan of the activity center, of the community center and senior center, the main entrance will include the vestibule, which all residents or customers who attend will go through that main entrance, and this will be the main lobby. They can either go to the senior center area or they can go to the community center area as well. The addition will also include an indoor playground, a coffee lounge, as well as a couple of party rooms, and of course, restrooms and storage. The conditions for the site plan building permit authorization are primarily our standard boilerplate conditions. I will note the only more unique condition for this project is specifically that the property needs to be platted in the future. The city council did temporarily waived platting for the parks projects. So the requirement is that the property needs to be platted before the CO is issued for the building addition. And city staff are already working on that plat. It was noted in the staff report that the planning commission would review that, but it's actually only a final plat, which will only go to city council for approval. With that, because this is a site plan building permit authorization, staff is recommending approval of the project for tonight. I can stand for any questions, and we also have the parks director here as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Commissioners? Anybody?
Thanks, Sydney. Just a quick question. What's the plotted time that they're looking at for construction and completion of this project?
Commissioner Halas, I believe it is the summer of 2027. I'll just look to the director to confirm.
Good evening, Commissioners. We're hoping to start construction in June-ish, July-ish of 26 and complete construction by September or so of 27. We're hoping to be able to occupy the space during construction, but we're still working through the challenges of what that might look like from a construction and a usability standpoint.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Just going through the new building again, you said there's an entrance door there, so there will be no other entrance doors going to the other two facilities? There
will be secondary doors. I'm assuming they'll be mostly used for staff purposes or maybe emergency exits. The primary entrance.
So you have to enter through the main entrance?
Correct.
Yes. So one of the goals for the project from our perspective is to create a single common entrance for everyone from a safety perspective, from a staffing perspective, and just from a sense of of knowing where to enter the building so we don't have to staff 2 desks, et cetera. So the intent is that the new front door will act as that. The current front doors of A, the community center, and B, the senior center will still remain because they can still be used as egress in case of an emergency or if you're just leaving the building. And on some occasions, those doors may be used as the primary access to the facility if, as an example, something was going on down on the senior center end of the building and that was the only thing that was going to be used. It might make sense to have people enter that door. So they will still exist, but the idea is to have everyone come in this new central entrance.
Yeah, that's good for safety reasons, like you
Yep.
said, and they'll have to check in and stuff.
Correct.
My only question would be like, you went down 13 stalls, parking stalls. So you're saying that 96 is adequate. I just remember when I used to play volleyball there on Thursday nights, could never find his parking spot.
How do I go back to, there's that one slide where you showed the Hayes complex? So I just wanted, and you mentioned quite a few things. Yeah, right. So, in this drawing, you'll see that we did add parking stalls as part of the athletic complex. So we added, I think it was 76-ish stalls.
On the side there, right? 'Cause
Yep, on that. So that grayed area is brand new parking, additional parking. And so that was just all part of the overall site master plan because we knew that potentially we'd be losing a few sites with the addition. So we wanted to add some sites before we potentially lost a few sites.
Okay.
So we're adding more than we're taking, for
Okay,
sure.
good. I just remember that going.
Yep.
Then it would be cold out and you're like, Commissioner Mahowald?
Just one quick question. It looks like, will the existing kitchen be retained?
So we are taking, to make this project work, we have to take the existing kitchen and basically move it to the other side of the building, on the north side of the building. So we're taking the existing office of the senior center and turning that into our catering kitchen. And because we're having to take the existing kitchen and make that that helps us make the connection so that you can get in the new front entrance and then still get into the senior center without having to, be routed all over the place, if you will. And it just makes the connection that much smoother.
Okay. That it will also be a nice access point too, if it's on the north side.
Yep, so the caterers, as an example, will use that current front door access when they come to prepare for a banquet or whatever the case might be.
Thank you.
Yep.
Commissioner Scanlon?
I just want an observation that I just wanted to thank you for the work that you're doing here. And you can see the effort into it from the architecture to landscaping. Doesn't leave us any questions asked or anything. I mean, it's complete. And I guess it's just an example of the construction that we do here in Apple Valley and the effort from everybody, including yourself and staff and so forth. So thank you.
Appreciate that. I think the community is really going to like the finished product.
You can tell. Yep.
I'll piggyback off of that and just say I think the building is really,
Yeah.
I like the glass and stuff. It's going to be nice and inviting, I guess, in the inside and stuff too.
Yeah, the existing senior center is pleasure, pleasure to look at. The existing community center, not so much. And so we're trying to make that be a little bit more attractive.
Sure. Good work.
Yep. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. No more questions? Anybody like to make a motion?
Madam Chair, recommend approval of a site plan building permit authorization for a 10,000 square foot building addition to the Apple Valley Community Center and Apple Valley Senior Center, subject to conditions 1 through 17 outlined in staff report.
Second.
Made by Commissioner Scanlon, the motion, and seconded by Commissioner Schindler. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. That brings us to other business, and we will ask Tim Bonine for that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just,
Tim Bonine used to be somebody I worked with. And when I said Tim, it just came out Tim Bonine.
okay.
Tim, if you're watching, hello.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a reminder, your next meeting will be next year, January 7th. And we also have our upcoming council meeting next Tuesday night on the 23rd, followed by a January 8th meeting. So if we don't get to see each other until next year, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and have a great and healthy new year. And if you have any leftover cookies or sweets to drop by the Community Development Department is always open, even next week.
Is
So
the 26th open? Because it'll all come.
it will
together.
not be open on the 26th because we are off on the 25th and 26th.
Thank you, and Merry
You're
Christmas.
welcome.
You too. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Motion made by Commissioner Schindler and seconded by Commissioner Scanlon. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Therefore, we are done for the night. Adjourned.